Yes, although you may not believe it, I am death. In my time, I led many souls away and watched many a person lead his life before joining me beyond. I came across a particular family whom I found extremely entertaining. This family is called the Bundrins, and if it not for their hearts pumping blood, I wouldn't know how to differentiate between them and the dead. 10 days ago, Addie Bundrin finally joined me in person. She'd been with me for a long time in spirit and mind, but never fully here, you see, until then. I watched her family and friends, and I'm excited to see how they react to her death, and how exactly, upon making a decision about me, death itself, they show their true morals and character. As the patriarch of the Bundrin family, Ance is fully invested in both himself and his reward.
Sometimes I wonder why we keep at it. It's because there is a reward for us above, where they can't take their autos and such. Every man will be equal there.
Ance believes that he will go to heaven when he dies, and does not even consider hell as a possibility. Convinced that he will be rewarded by God in the afterlife, he does not feel the need to work hard or attempt to be moral when he's alive. Ance gets his sons to do all the work on the farm. He even goes as far as to exploit his children and take their money to buy a new set of teeth. Ance takes the promise of heavenly rewards for granted, assuming death will compensate for his lazy and despicable behavior in his life. Much like Ance, Cora also seems to live based on the promise of her reward in the afterlife.
But she wanted to go. It was her own wish to lie among her own people.
Then why didn't she go alive? Not one of them would have stopped her, with even that little one almost old enough now to be selfish and stone-hearted like the rest of them.
I have tried to live right in the sight of God and man for the honor and comfort of my Christian husband and my Christian children, so that when I lay me down in the consciousness of my duty and reward, I will be surrounded by loving faces, carrying the farewell kiss of each of my loved ones into my reward.
Cora believes in both a heaven and a hell. Cora's expectation about death is that she will be rewarded in heaven, but is always tinged with the knowledge that some may earn eternal damnation. Since she believes in the possibility of hell, she puts in an effort to be moral, unlike Ance. Her expectations about death, heaven with a chance of hell, inform her morals while she lives as she tries to behave in accordance with biblical values of her time. Cora serves as Addie's foil. The juxtaposition of their morals and expectations about death highlights how unusual Addie's views are. As Faulkner moves to convey Addie's point of view on death, he gives her the unique perspective that death is an escape from her life. While living, Addie feels this uncontrollable downward slide of her life, and for this reason, death is never a scary place, as anything would be better than the dreadful life she bears. In death, she finally comes alive, breaking free of the metaphorical chains that have trapped her all her life.
I remember when my father used to say,
Addie, the reason for living is to get ready to stay dead a long time.
This is the philosophy that Addie lives with for the rest of her life, and why she has her values and morals. Faulkner expresses these morals through her affair with Whitfield. By directly having an affair with Whitfield, it means two different things. One, Addie craves control in her life that she isn't getting through any sorts of words, so she resorts to action to find this control. And two, words such as sin and hell that scare people like Cora do not scare Addie.
My daily life is an acknowledgement and an expiation of my sin. Who are you to say what sin is and what is not sin? It is the Lord's part to judge, and ours to praise His mercy and His holy name in hearing of our fellow mortals. Just because you have sin in your heart, and just because your life is hard, is no sign that the Lord's grace is absolving you. I know my own sin. I know I deserve my punishment. I do not begrudge it.
Like Addie, Dawn regards death as a state of being, but believes instead that after death one ceases to exist.
in a strange room you must empty yourself for sleep. And before you're emptied for sleep, what are you? And when you're emptied for sleep, you are not. And when you are filled with sleep, you never were. I don't know what I am. Jules knows he is, because he does not know what he does not know whether he is or not. Yet the wagon is,
because when the wagon is was, Addie Bundred will not be. And so if I'm not emptied yet, I am is.
She's gonna die
When is she gonna die?
before we get back.
Then why are you taking Jewel?
I need him to help me load.
Darrell comes to the conclusion that upon death, the departed cease to exist entirely. This is why he burns the barn with Addie in it to prevent the Bundrens from continuing their journey to bury her in Jefferson. He believes that since she does not exist anymore, the family does not need to fulfill her wishes. This is also seen when Darrell decides to take Jewel into town instead of staying with his dying mother. Darrell is Faulkner's omniscient perspective in the novel, and through Darrell, Faulkner presents the theory that there is no universal perception on death. The different lenses through which mortality is viewed cause variations in how people define moral behavior. Let me leave you with this. As David Grold said in The Man Who Fooled Himself, you cannot avoid mortality, but you can choose your way of meeting it. And that is the best any man can hope for. In other words, I, death, can be anything you wish me to be, whether you fear me or love me. We all must die eventually. How you choose to see your ultimate demise may influence how you choose to live, and how you choose to live, well, that's up to you. Whatever the case, choose wisely.